Good day, good day, good day, everybody. Happy Monday. Happy Monday, Queen Gladys. It's good to see you. Hope you had a wonderful Mother's Day weekend. I hope all is well. All is well over here. I had a fabulous, fabulous Mother's Day weekend. And over here, this is like my little Mother's Day display. This is my little Mother's Day display over here with my all my Mother's Day cards, and my girls still make me homemade Mother's Day cards, which I just love. They're getting fancier, and this one is Zola's, and she got like fancy, right? Right? Of course, I cried. Of course, I cried, and Marco and my sister. It was lovely. We had a lovely, lovely, lovely Mother's Day weekend. It's good to see you all, Ron. Thank you so much for calling and wishing me a happy Mother's Day. I really appreciate it. Timothy, good to see you. Lindsay, good to see you. Good to see everybody. Good to see everybody. So I'll talk a little bit more about Mother's Day and some joy news. So this is what had happened, right? So today is going to be a sip of a sip, right? And there were two things that I wanted to share. And one of the things that I wanted to share, I left upstairs. So I was getting ready to run upstairs while the intro stuff was happening. I was getting ready to run upstairs and get the thing. And then I said, you ain't running upstairs. It's going to be a sip of a sip. So you're just going to share one thing today. And you can share the other thing tomorrow. And so that's what we're going to do. That's what we're going to do. I really believe the universe is helping me out with this sip of a sip. So it's a sip of a sip because I'm leaving to go get my niece from university today. So she's coming home after her semester away at school. So I'm going to drive and pick her up. So this is what I want to share. I guess today is kind of a one-off. It's kind of a one-off, and it's still in the realm of what we were talking about last week and Emmett Fox and the law of mental equivalent. It's still in that realm. So this is what happened. I was preparing for my sermon a couple of days ago, and I was looking for something. I was looking for a reference to something that a point that I wanted to make, and I couldn't find it. And instead, I found this other book, another Emmett Fox book. So I want to share this as a resource to everybody. So this is Emmett Fox, another book by Emmett Fox, right? A little thicker. It's called Power Through Constructive Thinking. And the reason why this book is thicker, bigger, is because this book is a compilation of his essays, right? So instead of like getting all these individual pamphlets, you could get a compilation of his essays. So this is what it says. All the essays in this book have previously been published as separate pamphlets and are still obtainable in that form. This collected edition is put out in response to very many requests from all over the world. I don't remember getting this book. I didn't know that I had it. So I just found it a couple of days ago. And so I wanted to share this. So of course I start flipping through it to see if the law of mental equivalent is in it. And it's not. So the pamphlet on the law of mental equivalent is not in this book. However, the 7-day mental diet is. So the 7-day mental diet is in here. And Emmett Fox has this wonderful interpretation of the Lord's Prayer. And I have that in pamphlet form, and it's in here. So there are about, I want to say, 30 essays in this one book, Power Through Constructive Thinking. Power Through Constructive Thinking. So I wanted to share a couple of things that are just in the introduction that's in alignment with our mental equivalent. So remember, we're building a mental equivalent. That doesn't stop just because I go on to a new series, right? We're still building a mental equivalent. All right. And many of you have said yes to the 30-day mental equivalent challenge. Okay. So I hope you're doing well. I hope you are staying focused on the mental equivalent of what it is that you desire to have in your life, right? And that you are believing it, right? You know it. You know it. So this is what I wanted to share. Just a couple of points about the book. Let me just read. Okay. So this is the first point. This book is designed to teach the principles of life, building through constructive thought. All power lies in creative thought. Thought is the key to life. For as a man thinketh in his heart, so is he. Right? All right. 1 point. Second point. This book shows that your destiny is really in your own hands because it is impossible to think one thing and produce another. It is impossible to think one thing and produce another. And Emmett echoes that in the Law of Mental Equivalent pamphlet also, right? So if you are, this is wonderful because this is about building our mental equivalent. So if you are thinking, I'm broke, but then you want to produce money, guess what? You're not going to produce money. You're going to produce brokenness in all kinds of forms, not just in money, right? Brokenness in your relationships, brokenness in your health, brokenness all over the place, right? So we have to stop thinking that it's just this, it just applies to this one thing, right? So if I say I want the mental equivalent of joy, right? Then I want joy all over my life, not just in one particular area, right? And that's how the Lord works. It's going to spread it all through because it's one thing. It's one thing. And what you think and what you produce or what is the effect is one thing. Cause and effect are not two separate things. They're one thing. One thing. Okay? It's the inward expressing the outward. They are connected. Okay? So I wanted to make that point clearer. Okay? All right. One other point. This book is intended to help people clarify their thinking on these important points, the points that I just shared. It is an attempt to explain the fundamental truth of being in the simple language of everyday life. If you can't apply it, then what's the point, right? If we can't apply the principles of life, then what is the point? If coming on and watching me on SIP every day, but then you don't apply any of the principles, then this is just entertainment for you. And I'm fine with that. I'm fine with being someone's entertainment. But my intention is for you to experience the life that you desire, the life that is in your heart, the life that you were here to express, to be in whatever that quality is for you, to be in that fully, full out, and to be connected to your yes. So how are you applying it? How are you applying it? And so we get for the next, so this is my day 9. This is my day 9 of the 30-day mental equivalent challenge. So whatever day you're on, and know what day you're on. Like Pay attention. Know what day you're on, right? And really focus on, give your full attention to whatever it is that you have changed your thought, behavior, desire into. Focus on that, right? Through true activity. And I love that term, through true activity. Whatever it is that you're doing is in alignment with your mental equivalent. Okay? You're with me? I just read what Ron wrote. All right. So I think that's what I wanted to share. I wanted to share that. So again, Emmett Fox, Power Through Constructive Thinking. It has about 30 of his essays in it. It does not have the law of mental equivalent, but it does have the 7-day mental diet. All right. Moving on. Let's get into some joy news. So, had a wonderful Mother's Day. It kicked off on Saturday. My cousin had a big Mother's Day celebration upstate at his house, him and his wife. It was like a mini Thanksgiving. It was amazing. And my brother, who lives in Atlanta, flew in, and my mother didn't know he was coming. And so my sister said, I'm going to call an Uber. This is a little story, y'all. So my mother lives in Brooklyn and my sister lives in Queens. So my sister tells my mother, I'm going to get an Uber, have the Uber pick her up in Queens, then go to Brooklyn, pick up my mother and my aunt, and then drive them upstate, right, in an Uber, right? So I was like, oh, okay, that sounds really expensive, okay, right? So when they get to my mother's house and they open the door, the Uber driver is my brother. And my mother was shocked, right? And the funny thing was he had his son with him. So his son was in the car. And my mother still's not like, it still didn't register yet. You know how the mind is, right? Like if you're not expecting it, it takes a minute for it to kind of like sink in, like, wait a minute, what's happening here? And so the Uber driver said, I'm sorry, ma'am, that I have to have my son with me today, right? And my mother looks and she's like, wait a minute, that's my grandson. So it was my brother. Wonderful Mother's Day surprise. And we had a wonderful time with my cousin, who I haven't seen in years. And it was just lovely. Yeah, it was great, Simone. Weber was there, Simone. We had a fabulous time. Fabulous time. So that was Saturday. And then yesterday, we did Living Life in Joy. It was pre-recorded, but it was a wonderful guest, Alethea Brown. I hope you saw it. She's the founder of Unveiled, and she's amazing. And then I had service at Rockland CSL. Yep, there she is, Alethea Brown. Amazing. Service at Rockland CSL, and the topic yesterday was, can you keep a secret? Can you keep a secret? And I was really making the point around keep, right? That what we are keeping is our mental equivalent, right? That is what we are keeping. And keeping is one of those words, right? It's one of those words we think we know what it means, and we do, but it has so many other meanings that we can use to support us in what it is that we're doing. And so the origins of the word keep is to stare. That's one of the origins, to stare, right? So what you looking at, right? Are you looking at your mental equivalent, or are you looking at something else? Are you looking in the present, or are you looking in the past? What are you staring at? What is holding your attention, right? So that is helping me a lot with my mental equivalent. So after service was over, I kept like, there was like all this little busyness happening around in the house, right? I knew something was going on. So the girls asked me to go upstairs. I go upstairs. They give me my cards. And then I come back down. They say, okay, go downstairs. So spread out on the dining room table is a full-blown brunch that my girls made. French toast and sausages and veggie sausages and fruit salad. It was fabulous. And they had everything labeled. They had everything labeled what it was. It was so great. And then there was a sign that said my full name, Melissa Moore Nobles, breakfast delight. It was fabulous. It was fabulous. So we sat down, we had a nice brunch together. It was all very good. I was full with love and with appreciation, and it was just wonderful. And then after that, I left them. And I went to hang out with some girlfriends. So my cousin sis Vanessa is in town, and so I met up with her, and we hung out with Heike and Denise and Erica, my sister and my cousin. And so we had a wonderful time. And Heike's husband, Brad, up in the Bronx, they bought this new apartment, and we just hung out and talked and had a good time. So it was a really full weekend, filled with people that I love, filled with things that I love to do. And I really, really appreciate the love and attention that was given to me by my family, by Rockland CSL, and by my friends. So it was wonderful. So I hope everyone had a good Mother's Day. And something that I shared yesterday in service, because Mother's Day is hard for some folks. Mother's Day is not always an easy holiday for everybody. So one of my friends posted this on Facebook, and I just want to share it here. So, peace and blessings to mothers who have lost children, mothers with strained child relationships, those who have lost mothers, those who have chosen not to be mothers, those with strained mother relationships, and those who yearn to be mothers, right? And I love what Rumi says. Rumi says, love is our mother. Love is our mother. So peace and blessings to everybody for Mother's Day, however way you recognize it or you don't recognize it. Okay? All right. So more joy news. So this Sunday, join me for another Living Life in Joy show, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And then right after 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Sunday in Praise at Rockland CSL. We're continuing our May theme, Feeling Tone. So please join me. You could go to rocklandcsl.org, click on Sunday service, and you'll be in the Zoom room, or you could watch on Facebook. We live stream on Facebook. Our next meditation with the moon is on May 16th at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time, and it is the flower moon, also the blood moon, because there is a total lunar eclipse. So please join me for that. And remember, when we have meditation with the moon, we don't do a 10:30 sip. I've been announcing the date change for our trunk show. Asante's Jewels by Gladys Williams is happening on June 4th. June 4th at 6 p.m. Eastern Time. So please join me for that. That will be on Zoom. And what else do I want to say about that? Oh, you can see a preview. You can see a preview by going to asantesjewels.com. asantesjewels.com. And I'll be wearing some more of Gladys's beautiful works of art throughout the week. Okay? All right. I think that's all I wanted to share. So I will see everybody tomorrow, 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. I'll share that other thing that I wanted to share today. Okay, I'm just looking at. Oh, Tim. Tim is on day 7. I think I saw that. Good for you, Tim. That's great. Yep, there he is, day 7. All right. So keep track of your days. Keep staring at your mental equivalent. Keep staring at it. All right. All right. So I will see you all tomorrow. Peace and blessings, peace and justice. We're living life in joy, connected to our yes.